What inspired you to become a writer?
The fact that I like to read. I read all during school when other kids were outside playing, and I'd be on the front porch with a stack of books. So,
what kind of books did you like to read?
well, over the years I've liked all kinds, but I have consistently liked mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And then in graduate school, I think it was Fred Arisman's fault, but I worked my way into Western American lit, and I really enjoy reading about the American West, knowing the history, the fiction.
So how long have you been writing?
I wrote my first short story when I was 10. So that's been a while.
Yeah. Do you still have it?
No, my mother had it,
Oh.
and I don't know what happened to it, and I knew an artist who did some illustrations for it, but I can't find it now. Downsizing is a bad thing.
Yeah. Where, I know you've touched on this a little bit already, but where did your love of writing and storytelling come from?
From the reading, and I guess I found that I could do it rather early. I worked for a woman when I was in high school who who helped me write. She had rather dramatic notions of it, but we wrote a short story and I sent it to 17. And, when I went to college, I didn't major in anything. I majored in English because I wasn't going to have a job. I was going to get married and some man was going to take care of me, and I was going to read books. Didn't work out that way.
As someone who has spent a good part of their life in Texas, how has that inspired you?
I have been in Texas since 1964.
Okay.
But I'm from Chicago.
Oh.
Texas has influenced, Texas offers so much to write about. And I just kind of immersed myself in it. And I don't know, it's just the subject that came naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a book right now about the Alamo.
Oh. Is that going to be a mystery, or is it history, or?
It's nonfiction.
Okay.
The Second Battle of the Alamo.
What do you think most characterizes your writing?
I don't know. Simplicity, maybe. I try not to sound affected.
What do you enjoy most about the writing process?
I like Mark Twain. I like having written. Writing is hard, but when it comes out all right, and you look back on it and you think it's not bad. That's what I like. Sometimes you look back on it and you think that's awful, but that awful gives you a place to start and work from.
So on the flip side, what's the hardest part of the writing process?
If I'm writing fiction plot, one of my sons said, "Mom really ought to write true crime because she's piss poor at plotting." Pardon my language, but that's what he said.
Are there, looking back, are there any books, if you had to choose one, that you wish you had written, what would you choose?
I always had a list of a couple, but one of them is Angle of Repose, Wallace Stegner, which is about the woman journalist artist from the East who went to California and married a miner in the 19th century. It's a powerful novel.
Yeah.
And it's women's lit. But, I'm not going to choose Shane or the Virginian.
Yeah. Obviously you've written a lot over the course of your career. Can you pick a favorite thing that you've written?
Yeah, I can. I think the book I'm proudest of is The Gilded Cage, the Chicago novel that does so much with the history of not only the Potter Palmer family and the wealth in Chicago, but also the things like the Haymarket Riot and the Pullman town. I tried to get a good picture of the social times, and they were not pretty.
So, kind of a broader question for you. What cultural value do you see in books? Why do we bother with them? Why should we bother writing them and reading them?
Open minds. Extending your knowledge, extending what you're receptive to and what you know about. I talk to people that, don't have a clue about one thing or another. And so I think it's important to stretch your mind.
What did you like best about working in the university press world?
It really allowed me to have my two careers, or as I used to say, wear two hats. They fit together so well because I could do my own writing, and I met so many literary people and book people and made so many contacts. The two just really went together.
Do you have any advice for young writers and or anyone wanting to go into publishing, since kind of speaking to both of those hats?
Publishing, I wish I had known about publishing institutes and things. Did you not go to one?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah,
Denver,
I think that would be a big help.
Yeah.
I fell into it by the back door, and I realized slowly over the years how much I was learning by the seat of my pants. And Melinda will tell, we had people come through the office that didn't know anything about publishing, and it was painfully obvious when they tried to pick up and do things at the press. As for writing, I would probably recommend, well, like when I began to write mysteries, Susan Woody Galbert said to me, join Sisters in Crime. And wow, that was a whole new world, a whole new learning experience, because there's so much about genre writing that I really didn't know. So I think making alliances both within the publishing world and the writing world is important. Networking.
Yeah. If you had to sum up your career, sort of looking back, what are some of the big lessons that you've learned?
I didn't learn about getting along with people. Only Melinda. I don't know. The one thing I've thought about my career, Larry Adams used to say to me, Judy, if you want to apply for another bigger, better job somewhere else, I'll give you a good recommendation. I understand that. I never did that. I think if I had been more ambitious, I could have moved up the ladder, because I was director of a small press, underpaid. But it provided me a very comfortable home. I could raise my children in the environment I liked. I didn't have to leave the city I knew. There were some trade-offs, and it worked very well. And honestly, looking back, I think it was a very rewarding career. I enjoyed it.